America's having a Pluto return right now. The planet of transformation has us questioning power, hierarchies, and the age-old assumption that money can bring happiness, or security, for that matter. With Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, every component of how power has been created within this society is being brought to light, re-examined, and deeply felt on the national level. There is a political and social foundation of racism, classism, ableism, slavery, and human trafficking, creating much of the foundational wealth and success in this country. And the centuries-long gaslighting emphasizing that this is not the case just doesn't work anymore. We can no longer exploit human life and not expect karma to come to collect. America, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, is having a come to Jesus moment as it pertains to how we manage our finances, funds, and resources. As we witness soaring gas prices, pay cuts, and continued job loss of positions that typically required a lot of labor for little funds, we know and can feel a continued lack of access to funds for necessities and funds for dream building in our communities. Those who have been hurting and struggling within this system are being hurt even more by this system. And we are simultaneously witnessing an ever-burgeoning upper class. We see corporations that have been around for decades feeling as though they're becoming household names and monopolies overnight. And investing in them means convenience and quality, while also contending with labor practices that are recreating this hamster wheel-esque type of energy of having a large and basically expendable workforce to meet the demand of consumers. And the consumers don't really have money to burn anyway. People are going into huge amounts of debt because they're just trying to feel safer by surrounding themselves with things. And the more we buy, the more labor we need, and the more labor we have in this paradigm, the less people have energy to dream. It's a vicious cycle. At the same time, there's this different dream coming to fruition of skipping the line in fields and companies that previously had very strict guidelines of how to join their ranks. A number of creatives have invested time, money, and energy into building online platforms that have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers to their content. Some have even more. These creators have connected with companies and brands that pay them for engaging their audiences and encouraging them to buy their company's products. So the ads that we see on TV are now following us through the algorithm when we scroll on social media, and they are also being offered to us on the platforms of our favorite creatives. Everybody's trying to make a buck. Everybody's trying to make ends meet. Everybody's trying to get rich. Everybody's trying to build a legacy. Everybody's desiring more. But capitalism was built on lack. At this time, we are being asked what our dream is. There is more possibility than ever before, especially if we allow ourselves to dream bigger and outside of the old way of doing things. We get to redefine success for ourselves as individuals and for ourselves as communities. We get to get realistic about how many years it may take before we reach certain levels of fame, of having an expendable income, of traveling the world, if we choose to do so in a way that's sustainable through the many ebbs and flows that this economy takes, and if we choose to do so in ways that help others rather than exploit them. There's something bigger for you. There's something bigger for your community. There's something bigger for us all. The old system isn't going to provide us safety. We've seen time and time again. It's not going to help us go after what we desire. Because if we're afraid that money's going to disappear, but when we look back, we actually see that it's up and left us so many times over, what's the point of playing by the rules of this game? It's no longer the move. We need something new. And I think if we give ourselves time to reflect, time to contemplate, time to meditate on what we want, if we check in and we ask ourselves, who do we admire the lives of and who do we admire the journeys of, we'll be able to connect with dreams and goals and desires that can create more of that new life for us too. With this recent full moon, super moon in Aquarius passing over Saturn in Aquarius during Leo season, we're being asked to get a sense of all the things that we want more of in our lives. Instead of us trying to fit our dreams into America's dream, it's time that we find the courage and the self-respect inherent in trusting that our dreams are bigger than this country's.